Hello everybody, welcome back. Sport Federation TV. It's of course that time of the week where we take a look at what's happening with sport in the Western Cape. Coming up on the show tonight, we're going to take what's happening in the world of karate. There are, well, I think the Western Cape karate guys have had a couple of international events, a couple of local events as well, and more coming up, of course, locally on a weekly basis. And we'll be taking a look at what's happening in the world of softball. Masters softball is in action. But if you have been watching, you will of course know not so long ago, in fact about a month ago now, what, 3-4 weeks, Patrick Collings, president of Western Cape Fencing, was in the studio with us. Patrick is back. Patrick, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
All right, so the reason I'm saying welcome back is not just welcome back to the studio. Birmingham, you've been away for 3-4 weeks competing internationally.
Yeah, but not in Birmingham, in London. It was the fencing championships.
Oh, right.
Close, but not quite there. That was great. We just got back. It was a long time away. A very big competition. 1,200 plus competitors from 30 nations. 2 weeks of competition, a week preparation. So long time away.
So let's go back a few weeks before that. What happens? How does it get to London? It's also called the Commonwealth
Commonwealth Championships.
Commonwealth Championships. I suppose that's why I'm thinking Birmingham, but it is the Commonwealth Championships.
It is the Commonwealth Championships. Yeah. It's not all sports that are in the Commonwealth get to go into the games, certain number. It's one of the sports that's on the side of it. We're knocking to get in. So very big competition. It goes from under 17 all the way up to veterans. The largest ever fencing competition the Commonwealth have held. So it was a very big event. And we sent a team from South Africa of 40 fencers, about half of them from the Western Cape, so we were really well represented there. Got some really good fencers who went out there, right from our under-17s up to our veterans. 1,200
competitors from more than 30 countries. I mean, that's pretty big, it's pretty serious.
Yeah, it was. I mean, some really world-class fencers there. It's a very serious competition. It's one steeped in history and very, very competitive.
So that was going to be my next question. Is this the best of the best getting there to compete?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, certainly from the Commonwealth, it's the best of the best. You know, we've got some of our European nations who are absolutely phenomenal in fencing around the world. They weren't there, but from the Commonwealth, we've really had very, very good competitors.
And how did the athletes get there? I mean, over the last, is it a question of preparation over a 2-year period? Do you have to have a certain amount of points? Do you have to qualify?
The Commonwealth Championships, the seniors happen every 4 years.
Right.
The juniors every 3 years. So it goes through a national selection process. So you have to reach the criteria inside the country to be selected. We've got a national selection competition cycle, and athletes have been preparing for this for several years to go. It's a big thing in the calendar. They work towards it.
Tell me about the team itself. When you guys are going, is it coaches, physios, doctors, managers? How does it work?
Fencing is a smaller sport. We don't have all that, but we went with the team. There was a management team, there was coaches team there, a lot of volunteers helping out, so that we had the support structure up there as well. Of course, we would want more. We would like to have more physios and take them with, but we'll get there.
So is it a question also like the team? I mean, it's an individual sport, but the athletes have to get to know each other. They got to stay together. They got to get comfortable.
There was an athletes' village, because of the size of the competition. People came and left at different times, but there was an athletes' village. We did stay together. We tended to travel a little bit more independently, smaller groups arriving and then staying in the athletes' village, and that was great. It's always great to spend time together in that and with the other nations, and that's a big part of the sport event, getting to meet people, getting to meet other people, so that was really.
And do you rub shoulders with other sport codes?
Not at this one. This was just fencing. We were on our own.
Okay. What sort of age does a fencer reach his or her prime?
Fencing is longevity in fencing is incredible. If you had to take women's épée, for example, top 10 in the world, 5 or 6 of them in their 30s, mid-30s.
Right.
In Rio, a 44-year-old won silver in men's épée, so you go late into life.
Yeah. Tell me about some of the athletes. Let's start off with the juniors. How did we do?
I think overall it was a bit of a mixed bag across the whole thing. We had some good results. We had some expected results, and we had some disappointing results. You know, we came 11th overall, which is okay, but I think, you know, looking back, we would have liked a couple of our fencers to go further than they did. The two standout performances, one was Glenda Peters, both from the Western Cape. Glenda won gold in over 60. But to get there, she
over 60.
Over 60. She won gold in over 60. But
gold medal for South Africa.
For South Africa, over 60. Glenda Peters from Cape Town. But to get there, she had to compete with people in their 40s, 50s, 60s. She came 9th overall in the veterans, people over 40. Fenced phenomenally, absolutely brilliantly. And it is such a fantastic achievement for her, because Glenda is an icon in South Africa. She's an icon in Western Cape sport. 50 years ago, she started fencing. She's competed in world championships, previous Commonwealth. She's won medals overseas. She's given so much back to the sport. She has coached youngsters who've gone into great things, and she really embodies that sport is not just when you're in your teenage years or your 20s. Sport is for life. There are benefits, there's enjoyment, and to give back. So she was fantastic. And then Ewan Kruger, he's just turned 15. Earlier this year, he won the under-15 African Championship. He went there.
And I believe he competed against the under-17s as well.
He was in the under-17s. He made the last 8, which is fantastic, because when you just turn 15, you get to people nearly 18. Those 3 years is a big thing. So he did really well. And across the thing, I think, we paid a couple of school fees for our juniors who became seniors. They got to realize that they've got the talent, they've got the technique, but now it's so much more a mental game, and just removing all mistakes and seizing the small opportunities. So
what? And on the sidelines, you've got coaches and managers thinking about health and wellness and food and sleeping quarters and media and all that. I mean, there's also another side that people don't see.
No, it's the admin side, the unspoken side is massive. I mean, you see the people at the end of it, they are like 1,000 yards there. They have gone through the ring on it. The daily meetings, everybody signed up, get everybody there. It's a lot of work. And we had a great set of coaches with us who looked after the foil. We had Jacques Falloon looked after foil, Mitch and Blakeman looked after Sabre, myself and Sela Maduma looked after Epee. And it was, preparing the teams, and you come out of the individuals, you then got to prepare for the team event. How do you start the players? Who do it? And it's a lot of decision making, a lot of work on the go. So
is everybody back?
Everybody's back. Yes.
Everybody's back now.
Yeah.
Do they have some time off, or we know that some athletes they the minute they land the next day they want to go back to the club and say hello to everybody?
Well, they've had a bit of time off. They needed time off. We've got a senior nationals coming up in the middle of this month, so unfortunately it wasn't too much time off, and they're already back at the grind looking at that. Senior
nationals, tell us about that. When and where?
Senior nationals, the week of the 17th, 18th in Durban.
Right.
That's our national championship. We've got some good hopes to win back some national championships, both in individual and team. I think we're sending some really good teams up in our women's epee, in our men's foil. I think we're going to be really strong there.
So will they take that momentum from London and the games? Will they take that momentum into that competition? Do you think they'll still be as sharp?
Yeah, I think they will be. Yeah. And I think they've learned a lot. I think for a lot of them, the experience was just that step up, how their competitors were so very focused and maintained that focus over the entire match and over the competition. And I think that a lot was learned. It was a fantastic experience. I mean, we benefit from it. So.
Patrick, for folks that are watching the show right now, I mean, they're obviously looking at the show thinking, wow, fencing South Africa, fencing in the Western Cape, how do I get started? I could do this. It's obviously running well. We've got champions coming through the ranks, and I want my child to start fencing. Or I can even get fencing. I'm a little bit getting on in things, but I want to start fencing. Is this something that you can do from all ages?
Absolutely.
And how do I start?
A couple of ways to start is first find us on Facebook, Fencing Western Cape. safencer.com is the site you can go to. We'll send you to the clubs. We have lots of people starting in their 30s, in their 20s and 30s, picking up the sport. We have a lot of kids coming in. We've seen some really good growth. We've seen some fantastic growth across the way. I'd also like to have a shout out to Randall Daniels and Crystal House. For a long time, they've been promoting fencing in Ottery area, and they got one of their fencers to the championship, Elizabeth Machada. They did fantastic work in raising funds to get out there, and Randall he does so much work out there. Absolutely fantastic.
So sport for all ages?
Sport for all ages, all body shapes, all types.
And you can do it socially. You don't have to compete.
Absolutely.
You can just do it for fun.
Yes, you can just do it for fun. You can
Yeah.
come along and we go from social to internationally competitive.
Yeah, Patrick, fantastic stuff. We're very proud of Western Cape.
Thank you.
And for the athletes, Glenda, Ewan, the Antola twins, fantastic. We're looking forward to seeing more from Western Cape Fencing.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
There we go, folks. Patrick Collings, the president of Western Cape Fencing. And wow, more gold medals for South Africa and coming from the Western Cape area. Folks, we'll leave it at that. When we come back, we'll carry on talking sport in the province. Back in a sec.